Good morning. Welcome. It's Lagos Talks 91.3. It is time for your financial literacy program. Time for Everyday Money Matters. And I'd like to say that you remember EMM, Everyday Money Matters, a financial literacy program. And as such, answers to questions should not be considered as financial advice, but merely the opinions of our guests. Kindly consult your financial advisor for your personal or business financial related issues. But if you have questions on how to raise money, grow money, keep money, then this is the platform for you. It's Everyday Money Matters. And of course, I know you want to be part of this conversation. You can do this by calling any of these numbers, 0809 191 3913. And of course, there's 0809 222 0913. Also, 0809 234 5913. And we also have those extra lines available, 01515 0913 and 01515 1913. And I also have to tell you that we have our link out there on social media. So go on to @Nairametrics or @Lagos Talks 913 and join into our live broadcast, our webinar that's going on right now. Just click on the link and you'll be transported into the studio. Of course, we have our money team in the building. We have Ugodre, Obichuku, and Loretta. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, morning. What's up? How you doing?
What's going on? I thought you guys would be, dressed up for, movements. What's with all this nice clothing?
After the show.
Oh, after the show. Okay. All right. So everyone's just looking nice and corporate right now. Later on, we'll have the other apparel. That's fantastic. Welcome. Obviously, we can't talk or do this show right now without speaking about, what's going on, as it relates to business, as it relates to markets, economies, and that's, of course, talking about the End SARS movement. So, facts, I don't know which angle to come from first. How is this affecting our money? Should we start from there, or is it affecting our money?
First of all, before we go there, last week we said that we're gonna do a giveaway today.
Oh yes.
Remember? Yes.
Giveaway.
So I'm seeing that we've got a full house.
Oh wow. Oh, and it's growing.
Oh my God.
AK brand management. It's actually just the numbers are flipping right now.
Yep. So wow. We are taking notes of everybody here. We can see all of you. Great to have you on your live radio.
Yes.
Your live radio.
Live webcast. Yes. You can see us. You're practically here with us. And you can reach in and just maybe shake Ugodre if he says anything.
And then you can see Sadiq in his elements. If you guys have been hearing of Sadiq, that's him in his elements.
Yes, I'll be on my
full
best
elements.
my best behavior this morning. I'll do my best. Yes, because I'm usually just so right.
Good stuff. So man,
wow.
It has been the mother of all protests for youth. It's been incredible. Incredible. Sadiq, there is no, when you want good to happen, you want something positive to happen in a country, there's got to be sacrifices, right?
Yep.
And what I've told people is that each sacrifice is traffic, blocking of roads or no access. And I can eat that. Right, I can live with that so long as down the tunnel, something positive is going to happen, and that's what we're seeing already. Like government have basically yielded to all their demands, and you actually have a right to ask for more, right? Yes. They have a right to ask for more, right?
Just the beginning.
Cedric, remember we all did this kind of protest when we were much younger, and they have a. Yeah, dry leaves and all that stuff. They got a right to their protest. And this is the Millennial Protest, right? And Millennial Protest is not necessarily about leaves. It's about mobile phones. It's about them moving out, capturing the moments. We've seen amazing images. And the funny thing, it's been largely peaceful. They haven't actually done any looting. They've not destroyed anything. They've been very, very peaceful. Coordinated as well. And their business is also going well. I think that I'm not seeing them lock up shops or close shops or tell them to close. Nothing, right?
Nope.
Everything is going.
It's interesting because businesses are actually jumping on this. I'm seeing a lot of eateries and companies, going to donate and be a part of this.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, man, Nigerian youth own this country, okay?
Exactly.
Whether you like it or not. you're not gonna attract any investment into this country if the Nigerian youth are unhappy. It's not going to happen. So you need to have them. You need to keep them on your side. So yes, economically, it's going to affect us. That's why it's important for the government to yield as quickly as possible to their demands. And to be honest, they're not asking for anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Right. Just very regular things that government can do as quickly as possible. And the sooner, they start to yield to their demands, the better for them. Right. The better. And that's all they want. They just don't want, one of the things, Sadiq, as well, like Nigerian youth, they actually have been very patient. If you look at unemployment rate for youth is over 30% in Nigeria. A lot of them are home, schools are closed, right? So they take on a lot of stuff, and they've been patient. They're fine. They just go about their life, try to occupy themselves with.
You should mention is that even these acts of brutality have actually affected a certain section of our development. That's talking about people who are
technology.
Into IT, people into technology. I heard a very, very, well, it was a sad story, but not sad because anything bad happened. But a lady who got a job and her employer actually had to write and explain why she was carrying a laptop. And they wrote that specifically for the police. I just thought, my goodness.
It's terrible. I mean, if you read a lot of this stuff, you could really get agitated and very angry. Right. You could get, I had my own experience as well when I was much younger. And so it's not really something that started now. It's been there for a long time. And these kids are like, you know what? We've had it up to here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm sure the government is looking at this and seething and looking at SARS and these guys have been quiet all this while. They've been bearing all these things, right? They're angry, yes, but they've been bearing it. And then you just trigger them.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to come to.
Yeah. And then you trigger them.
The amazing thing is that if the 5 demands are completely met, everybody would benefit from it. Because the fifth one is about increasing the salaries of police
policemen.
So that the extortion, some of the extortions will reduce, because we have seen, I'm saying we because I'm a youth, we have seen that a lot of times these people do these things because they are not adequately taken care of, right? So it's going to really help everybody.
It will. It absolutely will. And speaking about helping everybody, so many questions. I can already see at least one question here on the platform. And please, to all people who are already listening in and part of this, you can send your questions in directly to this. That's if you're on the webinar watching us live. This one here is from Daniel. And Daniel is saying, good morning to the Money Team. He has 2 questions. Question number 1, did I make the cut for the first participants to win the prize? You'll find it out.
You find that at the end of the show.
Question number 2, where do you see the economy with the EndSARS protests? Interesting.
Okay, go on, Loretta. You're the youth, so go on.
Well, I feel like as long as nothing significant happens, so nobody's killed, in that sense, a particular, something significant really that shakes up the entire movement happens, the economy will still go on fine. Because I said earlier, businesses are still moving, people are working. In fact, a lot of these youths, they will go there. I have people that their offices give them 2 hours, go and protest and come back. So they are still working. Things are still, nothing is stopping. So I feel like as long as everything, keeps going on relatively peaceful as it is right now, things will still remain the same. I don't think anything significant will happen from either the negative side or positive side.
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's nice to know that it's not having that adverse effect, like people expected or thought these kind of movements had. Like you mentioned, I also think it's really interesting that some businesses have given time. I've even told their workers, please, if you are not alive, you won't be able to do work. So go out there and protest. They even provided buses, given some kind of stipends as well. So I guess business is still moving and everyone's behind this.
Yeah. And to what Loretta said, it could affect the economy at some point. And that's why it's important for the government to be swift. right? So if this drags on for, let's say, another week and 2 weeks, it could spiral. Okay, that's the thing with protests. Usually start peacefully, and at some point, miscreants might just want to, take over and use that as an opportunity. Yeah, because for example, now you see all those bus drivers, all these area boys. They haven't joined yet because they're still going about their business. But at some point, when it looks like it's beginning to affect their own economy, right? They can't move around anymore. They can't do stuff. Then you might see them, start to act funny. So that's why it's important for the government. Just accept their 5 agenda. Do it now.
Let them accept it, but I don't know.
No, they gotta just like show that like 1 or 2 has been done one already. Like you know what I mean? And that SARS to SWAT thing. I'm not sure what it is, but I mean,
people are really,
SARS to SWAT, like.
Actually, giving it another acronym. I can't remember what I read this morning. But
and it's like and weapons tactic.
That's what SWAT is called abroad, right? And the thing is that people like that, they don't come out except there is violence or there's a major robbery. Yeah, they're not in the streets. They don't do check my car or check your phone. Nope, they don't do any of those stuff. No stop and search. Yeah.
They probably explain it to the youth because it just looks like.
I just think it was bad timing. Yeah, complete bad timing.
Yeah, bad timing. But let's go to the questions quickly. Wow, quite a number, but let me see some from here. This says, do you think the federal government's projected 11.95% inflation rate and GDP growth of 3% is achievable in 2021?
Well, you'll be surprised to hear from me that it is possible.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is possible. Wow. Yeah, and it's possible because of an economic term that is called the base effect. It's like strange. So the way inflation rate is calculated is basically this. So if you want to know inflation rate for September, really? Only?
Sorry, what's going on?
Like 1K? Is that all you can do? Like plus 1K?
I don't know what you're talking about. Please go on. You're talking about inflation.
By this time next year is what just 800 naira.
But yes, go on. I'm just changing.
Look, participant, this is what Sadiq does. I told you guys you are going to see Sadiq in his elements. You're seeing him already. This is all he does.
I'm sorry.
I really don't know where to classify him, whether it's Nigerian youth or Nigerian senior.
I'm a youth. Do you not know my documented age is 25? Let's not go there. Just go on. Inflation.
Anyway, so usually you look at the inflation rate for September this year versus September last year, right? Okay. So if an inflation rate is basically what you call the consumer price index. So consumer price index is a collection of goods and services they put in a basket. So the collection of that basket, let's say it is 200 in September, but last year it is 190, right? So the difference between 200 and 190 is the inflation rate. So let's just say 10%, okay? So if this year, like, is really high, okay, because of electricity price increases and stuff.
Prices, petrol.
Those increases won't happen next year. Okay, so the basket next year, if this year is say 200, the basket next year could be 205 or something like that. Yeah. So that's just why. So usually when you have a very high, inflation rate that is due to a one-off increase. The next year it could trend a little lower, and the one-off increase we're seeing now is subsidy removal and fraud. Now, but on the other side, on the flip side, it could rise higher if oil prices unfortunately or fortunately goes up. That's the irony of Nigeria. The higher the oil prices, the higher we pay for fuel, which is kind of strange, right?
Really, and this is because we're not refining ourselves.
We're not refining ourselves because we're importing. And oil takes on a huge import bill for Nigeria. Yeah.
Wow. And it's amazing that it doesn't take on that same kind of bill when you're exporting. But hey, God damn. Right, Loretta, do you want to say something? Is your bad?
No, I was asking for the follow-up to the question. The growth rate of 3%. What do you think?
Yes,
is that also?
Yes. Is that achievable? Growth of 3%.
I doubt it, man. I don't know where that's going to come from. Maybe they're looking at that base effects thing as well, because we're likely going to be in a recession in the third quarter. Fourth quarter GDP is probably going to come out very low. So you're coming from a very low point, right? Mm-hmm. So by the end of next year, you could grow because you're coming from down under, right? Yeah. So maybe that's what they're looking at. And I think at the Nairametrics economic outlook and summit, we did say that we're looking like I think it was a U-shaped recovery that we're looking at. Yeah, so you could see growth. 3% is not impossible, but I'm not one of those who believe that we could do 3%. Maybe something around between 1% and 2%. End of the year, that is, not quarter. But 3% is generous.
All right. We have to go on a very, very short break. Of course, we'll be right back with more questions, more contributions, and more of Ugodre talking about money. Everyday Money Matters. We'll be right back after this. That's right. Welcome back to Everyday Money Matters, your financial literacy program. Ugodre is here, Loretta is here, and we have loads of participants. Absolutely amazing. But I think we should focus on these questions, and let's start off with that quickly. Right, this is from Oluwakemi Owolabi, and she says, please, some of us won't be, it's talking about the winners. Some of us won't be here to the end of the show to know whether...
Oh, you gotta be here to the end of the show.
Of this show, not
That's
the end
the whole
of the
idea.
entire show. All right, now.
Is this show EMM?
Right. Another question here. This says, what measures should someone take concerning the recession we're entering? Because as for me, I'm really getting scared from the figures the government is presenting, and that's from Salisu Ahmad. Want to answer that?
What measures is the government taking to do what?
Sorry?
I think it's about what measure should individuals take.
Yes.
To mitigate against the recession.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's one thing for the country to have its own recession. It's another thing for individuals to have their own recession. So I would suggest that you all try as much as possible to save, avoid excessive spending.
Okay.
It's very important that you avoid excessive spending that you don't need. Try as much as possible to get an income, no matter how small it is. Do something. Don't lose your money like this, people on screen.
Exactly.
Don't lose money like that. Don't give money to fraudulent people. Oh yeah, and by the way, I've seen some stuff on WhatsApp, people trying to use Nairametrics to extort money from people. We don't ask for money from anyone, okay?
Oh, wow.
Don't allow anyone to deceive you. We don't ask for money from anyone.
Wow.
Ugodre doesn't ask for money from anyone as well. We don't ask for money from any single person. All right.
That's
so,
the
and then try.
Yeah, go on.
Try as much as possible to earn some income. It's very important. That's how you avoid a recession, really. The economy will come and go, and the economy will be better, but that's how you avoid it.
All right, brilliant. So earn a little bit more money, save a bit more, and don't spend if you don't need to. Basically, sound advice.
And don't lose money as well,
like you. Don't lose money. Just don't throw your money away. Exactly. That's from Faith Aluko, and it's saying, not really a question per se, but I feel it's not about the SARS alone. The entire force is corrupt, so they should look into it. Anyways, let's look for questions. This is from Abimbola Anthony. It says, good morning, Ugodre, Loretta, Sadiq, and every other participant. What can the government and youth do to encourage employment creation in Nigeria that can stimulate the economy?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The government, to create employment, particularly for youth in Nigeria, I think government policies have got to move towards, job creation. And you see, he's trying to pick the money. That's the only money he has. I knew it.
No,
I knew it.
I wasn't trying to pick up
just 2,000 naira. That's what you're using to basically oppress everybody.
Because we have other things.
2,000 naira. You got empty debit cards. That's it. That is it. Anyway, so how to create jobs? So I'm gonna give you my own view. I think Loretta, I'm sure, has her own views as well on how we create jobs. But I think that creating jobs for youth is, you got to give them opportunity to do their own thing. create their own platforms. I think, first of all, I think by law, every state has got to have its own, hub, innovation hub for Nigerian youth. Like, it's got to be something that must happen. You know, the way you have all these vocational centers of these days, you need to have something like that for youth. Let them come and be creative themselves. Allow them to be creative themselves, right? They don't all have to be employees. They can be entrepreneurs and do their own thing. That's one thing that the government can do easily. And then I think that you've got to also, enable policies that allow people to create businesses that can attract mass employment, right? A lot of manufacturing jobs need to return to Nigeria, and you do that by having enabling policies and not policies that drive away, manufacturers. Losing up on taxes and duties and all that stuff that affect local manufacturing. Have a blend of imports and exports businesses, which is what they call backward integration. And I think Nigerian youth would benefit as well. And like I've always said, I actually think that it's about time we start to introduce some kind of unemployment benefit for Nigerian youth. I think that you've got to be able to give people under a certain age, stipends every month if they don't have a job. Provided that they're, maybe educated or something, you've got to be able to give them that, right? And then student loans. I think student loans is something that must return as well. Like, people got to be able to pay themselves through school or feed themselves through school. Some of our universities are not that expensive, but student loans is something that they've got to guarantee. I mean, these guys own the future. You know what I mean? They do own the future, and that's what I think. Loretta, you're a youth. What do you think?
I wish
I think Nigerian.
Did you hear what Sadiq said? He said, "Are we sure?" I heard that.
I wish I was. Can see my
that you're a youth. I heard that.
Please.
I heard it.
Don't worry. I believe your credentials. Yes, please. Carry on.
So I think the Nigerian government needs to create industries around a lot of aspects. So you see how America did it. You can do anything in America and there's a full industry around it.
True.
So, for example, if you look at the Microsoft was giving out free courses recently. If you had seen any of those courses, they were all tied to the future of work, digital marketing, graphic design, and if you see accounting, to be tied to accounting of the future. So, like something tied to learning cloud and things like that. So, there are so many new avenues opening up that are the future of work and it's important we do that because we have globalization on our side now. So I can stay in my house and make money from any single country in the world.
True.
However, those systems pretty much tied to what Ugodre was saying about having these vocational institutions. It's a different structure where people can learn specific skills and strong industries, formidable industries around it. Even the average person just with a phone and a laptop will be able to make money from anywhere, as long as the systems are in place, the structures are in place. That's what I think.
Yes, brilliant. Maybe you should run for office so that we can finally get it. Okay, fine.
No comment.
Let's take this one quickly. We're running out of time. This is from Chris at Gina, and he says, what is your take about the new wave of Forex companies asking people to invest money and get monthly compensations that are mouth-watering? He's called a few. I'm sure you can see the names there. What do you think about this? Is this some kind of scam, or is this something that people can do to beat inflation?
Sorry, take the question again.
Yeah, it's what is your take about the new wave of Forex companies asking people to invest money and get monthly compensation that are mouth-watering? Yeah, so it's called a couple of names.
Forex didn't change from the way Forex operates. Like nothing. So the only addition was that now you can trade Forex. You don't need a broker. You can do that with your phone, with the right apps and things like that. But the new wave of Forex, I really don't understand it because I'm not going to try to experiment it. But it sounds so much like network marketing, where they tell you bring 5 people.
Somebody, okay.
But then you can also make money from trading Forex. So if you don't make money from trading Forex, you make money from bringing in people. Doesn't sound like, I'm very traditional, so it does not sound like the way Forex should operate. And if you check online, you will see a lot of speculations that there was one that started like this in Ghana, and it also crashed after a while. So I just feel people should be really careful and know exactly what they are getting into, before, because they're promising returns. Forex ordinarily does not promise you 20% in 6 months, So that is a red flag for me.
Well said. Well said. Thank you. You've saved a lot of people this morning. Right, fast running out of time. In fact, we're almost done. So we have come to the end of the show where we would have to tell people if they've won or not. And of course, give information finally, just to let people calm down. I can hear the sports guys outside, so we need to make this quick.
So, quickly. Last week, we did promise that the first people who stayed all through the show. But because we had 77 people stay all through the show, and I think the Nairametrics School we have all your details. I hope they have all your details. Yeah. Every single person on the show is going to be getting a giveaway from Nairametrics.
Wow, everybody.
Except
including
except Sadiq.
Now, wow, you guys are so kind. So kind.
Except Sadiq.
Virtually. And you don't even think
that's it for today. Thank you so much, every single participant on the show. We do this every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8 a.m. Please stay real, stay focused. If you're a Nigerian youth, you own this country, and SARS. And let's move on. And who's that in the background?
That's Rotimi. I gave them one of the sports guys yesterday. They're trying to tell us to get right here. Well, thank you so much.
I know. I hope Charles realizes he's not youth though.
Charles, his youthness passed over 60 years ago. Don't worry, he knows.
Shego as well.
Every morning. No, Shego was done in the 60s.
Okay, all right.
Long time ago. And to all our participants, thank you so much for joining in. Faith Aluko, Abdulateef Ogumbi, Abimbola Anthony, Abiodun, Adekule, Ayodeji, Ademola, everybody. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to go. Thank you so much, Ugodre. Loretta. Cheers.